What's up, people? Sometimes I just believe that I have spiritual powers that are just incomprehensible to most. But one person that comes to my chat room truly believes in what I have to offer. It's my dogs. You'll see him pop in and out of the chat room. One of the first people to ever watch my show back in the day. I got a bunch of people that we've been together since day one. And what I want to know is what happened. So, first of all, thank you if you've first come to the chat room because it's growing every single day. And if you haven't come to the chat room, it's hitthebid.com or .net, whichever you want. The chat room is filled with people that are trading. We know what we're talking about. We throw good ideas back and forth to each other. And if there's nothing going on today, we're entertaining a lot of misfits and degenerates. I don't want to insult anybody, but the kind of people that I'm trying to attract are people that are looking to have a good time. People that like to talk about sports, recreational drug use, and just sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and stock picks. Now, if you're one of those people that thinks that you're too good or too proper to be involved with that, you know what? You'll eventually come around because you'll want to be one of us eventually. You're too stuffy. You're wearing your suit all the time. You want to loosen up and have a good time? Come to hitthebid.com where we're making money and we're having a good time. Think about that concept. Think about the concept that we're the ones, the people that are just non-MBAs, the people that have figured out how to do this for themselves and are managing to make money. We're the ones that you're going to want to hang out with, and we're the ones that are going to inherit the earth. Because with anything that's been proved over the last couple of years is that the smart people don't know what they're doing, and they've caused all these problems. Revolution, my friend. Revolution, it's going on right here. Ooh, is that the opening bell? Because I care. I don't care. Bottom line is, we're down. Imagine we actually have 2 down days in a row. Joey Dip Pod's waiting for it. I'm not buying into anything right now. I'm looking for the market to dip hard so I can get back into some stocks that I sold out of about a week and a half ago. But we're not going to talk about that right now. What I want to talk about is, well, first, I want to just throw out to the dogs. He came into the chat room. A lot of people want to know, how do I make money using the Krull system? Okay, listen. A lot of times it's just as simple as just doing what I tell you. If I'm not doing something and I'm telling you what to do, gold. Gold. I could always tell people how to make money, but when I try to do it for myself, a lot of times it doesn't work out. But when I am making money and I tell you to get into a trade, it's generally because I just got out of the trade. I took my money because it's whenever I'm in a day trade and I see a $300 or $400 profit in 9 seconds, I take that money and then I say, listen, I just got out of the stock. You might want to get into it. Yesterday it was FSLR once again. I got in, got out, made a point, told people to get in. As soon as I got out, it spurted 50 cents and then plummeted about $1.50. So there was a little bit of nervous feeling on my dog's part. So what I did was I bought back into it on that pullback, quickly sold it for a 5-cent profit just to work my magic, and wouldn't you know, the stock spiked 3 or 4 points. He made money, I made money, everybody was happy. That's exactly what I want to have happen here. Now, another thing is I could take this show in a whole complete direction, another direction. We could talk about stocks on one respect. I could split the show and talk about sports gambling. I wore the Yankee hat because one thing that I have definitely, and I'm not, if you know me, sometimes I may, what's it called? Forget, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Not elaborate, but embellish? I don't know. Maybe I'll tell a story, make it more grandiose than it was, just for, for TV purposes, for entertainment purposes. Maybe it wasn't as dramatic as I make things out to be. But you know what? Yesterday, what I don't do is lie. And yesterday was a situation that I've been waiting for since CC Sabatier was signed. I'm one of those Yankee fans that have lived through, I was too young to appreciate them winning those World Series in the 70s. I remember it. But I do remember mostly is them losing the World Series in the 80s and then sucking ass for basically a good decade and then crying when they beat the Orioles to go to the World Series in 1996. Also crying when they lost to the Mariners the year before that. But then got to enjoy all the good times. And then the team started to change. We started going back to the 80s kind of days where we started to hire people to try to make the team good and try to piece together a bunch of all-stars. And one thing that's happened is that's been proven not to work, but yet we're doing it again. So CC Sabathia, okay, so he didn't want to come here. So we had to give him an extra, $60 million to finally get him to come here. We know he's a notorious bad starter. We don't like guys who can't just get right into it and start winning games here in Yankee Stadium. So I said what's going to happen is he's going to be a combination of things. He's going to be awful, fat, and confused opening day. All the signs pointed to them Yankees losing yesterday. They had a tremendous spring training. Everybody was psyched. This was going to be the year where they finally piece it all together. It's going to come together. This guy's going to be mowing people down. They're going to score. Oh, by the way, CYOU, that China Internet IPO, you got to be looking at this stock. Because if it's breaking out, if it's going to break a new high, it's going to go higher, okay? And it's very, very volatile, very thin, has a big spread. CYOU, keep your eye on that thing because it's looking like it wants to go higher. And with the China stocks, Sina, Sohu, NetEase, and Baidu, I've been telling you guys to be long in the chat room for the past 3 weeks. In and out. Stocks have been doing really well. Back to Sabathia being fat, awful, and confused. It was just too easy. And when it comes to the betting against the Yankees, and I know you guys think I'm such a douche for betting against the Yankees, but I take emotion out of sports gambling. If I was only able to isolate emotion from trading, I'd probably do just as good as I do in sports gambling. Now, you understand something. I haven't had a losing year going on 3 years right now, ever since I stopped betting big. So as much as I'm doing well, I don't want to stray from that path because I'm superstitious. I know as soon as I start betting 500 or 1,000 on a game, there's no possible way I can lose. So I'm going to stick with my 100, 200, sometimes even $50. But I might as well make $50 and make 100 than not make anything or lose money. Yesterday I should have been paid more so. I was so right. And yet the Yankees made it close there. I got nervous there. And also, if you're a sports enthusiast, so the Yankees made it close, and they couldn't get the clutch hit. It's looking a lot like last year's team. The pitching didn't hold up. There was no timely hitting. And what happened? Where Chaba Chamberlain would have came in the 8th inning to keep it close, or the 8th and the 9th inning to keep it close, we decided to throw out a bunch of losers and give up another 4 or 5 runs to give any chance of us coming back in the 9th inning. Just dismiss that thought entirely. So it was 6-5, and next thing you know, it's a blowout, 10-5, game's over. But what we do, we took the money line plus 175. What that means is for every $100 you lay out, you're getting $175. That's a smart bet. If you're laying 175 to win 100, that's not so great. But with the Yankees, considering they're America's team and they can't do any wrong, they're always favored. 9 times out of 10, they're favored. It always comes down to the starting pitching, but they're always favored. So you're going to get odds in your favor. So generally, you bet against the Yankees. Even if you bet $100 every year, you know they're not. First of all, you're not going to win every single game of the year. They'll have some winning streaks where you get hammered for the week, but you know what? They're going to have losing streaks also. But if you're consistent and you're always taking the odds in your favor, you're going to come out ahead. I've been doing it for 3 years now. No, actually, I don't know. Since Randy Johnson came to the Yankees, because I've hated that guy. That's the thing about being a Yankee fan right now. It's like I'm such a big fan. I root for the uniform, but then they bring these guys on the team that I despise. I despise A-Rod. A-Rod is a curse. You say it enough. He's a cancer. The Mariners had him on the team. He was awesome. He left. The Mariners went on to win the most games ever in the history of baseball. Texas Rangers, they got him. They let him go. And the next year they had a pretty decent season. He's a mush. So anyway, thing is, the Yankees, we'll get to it another day. I think I've talked about it. The Yankees are cursed now. Since losing to Boston in that playoff when they were up 3-0, it's not been the same team. So we could just talk about sports gambling forever because I had North Carolina too. It's ridiculous. It seems so easy. But let me go try to make some money where the government says it's okay. See ya.